Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the Ascendant Conjunct, the North Node, and the natal chart. As some of you may remember, when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects of the natal chart. They're a little bit precise. Some people may refer to them as snappy. So what I decided to do is make another series on it, in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is if you have the Ascendant Conjunct, the North Node, in a natal chart, one way it may manifest is that physically you may be taller than otherwise indicated in the natal chart. The North Node is about going upward, and it can, affect the height. In some instances, the South Node is conjunct the Ascendant. The person may be shorter than otherwise indicated in a natal chart. The thing about this is another way it may manifest is that well, first I want to say, if you have the Ascendant in a tall sign anyway, such as Aquarius, that this may really reinforce or reaffirm those prospects of being taller than average in stature and height, as an example. But if you have the Ascendant, say, in a shorter sign like Taurus, then you may be, you may surprise some people. And, because, the North Node, again, conjunct the Ascendant can indicate being taller than average in height, and you may, be taller than, the typical Taurus rising person. But, another thing about this aspect is that the physical body and the appearance, which is the Ascendant, may be strongly tied in and integrated with one's destiny, which is the North Node. And I would say, if you have the Ascendant in Libra, it may really be strongly connected with that, because Libra is about attractiveness, and it could be where somebody could pursue some kind of modeling or acting career where the appearance is just so strongly tied in with the destiny, more so, than most people. If you have the Ascendant in Leo as another example, outward confidence and self-assuredness can play, a strong role in one's destiny, being, just how you appear to others. Can be strongly integrated and tied in with the person's destiny. Now, also, too, another way that this aspect may manifest in the chart is that you may have much drive and motivation, which is the Ascendant, going toward your mission and purpose, which is the North Node. So if you have, the North Node, in Aries as an example, the mission and purpose may be tied in with some leadership position, or doing something with the military, or speech pathology, or something with physiology. Could be something connected with welding, arson investigation, law enforcement, something that it could be some kind of combat sport, as far as one's mission and purpose. Maybe it could be doing something with surgery, as another example. Also, too, a grandparent and people prominent in your early childhood, which is the Ascendant, may play, an integral role in terms of developing the attributes connected with the North Node placement. So, say if the North Node is in Gemini, as an example, some of those attributes may be just being versatile, dexterous, loquacious, being articulate. It may simply being able to emphasize disseminating and assimilating information, being clever, shrewd, also having manifold beliefs, not just because if you have the North Node in Gemini, naturally you're going to have the South Node in Sagittarius. The South Node is what we're going away from. Could be targeting one belief or philosophy, where the North Node in Gemini is really accepting, having manifold, diverse beliefs. Now, Another thing about this aspect is that first impression that you make on others, which is the ascendant, may be vital in terms of where you are moving toward, which is the North Node. Now, the first, if you have the ascendant in the zodiac sign Cancer as an example, that first impression may be, one that's sort of sympathetic, nurturing, protective, caring, dedicated, devoted, tenacious, sensitive. As an example, and and it could be very important again, and where one could be moving toward. Also, too, the Ascendant Conjunct the North Node in the natal chart may also manifest in expending much vitality and energy, which is the Ascendant, going toward that spiritual path, which is the North Node. Now, if the let's say if the North Node is in Aquarius, as an example, that spiritual path may be tied in, with humanitarian, altruistic work and endeavors. It could be doing something with astrology, astronomy, computers, electronics, innovation, aviation, meteorology, or even rocket science in some cases. And now also too, those in your environment, which is the ascendant, may play an integral role in what you're learning and aspiring to be, which is the North Node. Now, if the North Node is in Capricorn, as an example, what you're learning and aspiring to be can be somebody, that's ambitious, responsible, structured, disciplined, consistent, premeditative, someone that has good planning ability, has good business acumen, serious, being, mature, and again, expressing, responsibility. And the thing is, if you have, let's say, another example, if the North Node is in Pisces, what you're learning and aspiring to be can be altruistic, sacrificing, forgiving, compassionate, being someone that's being able to overlook, the transgressions of others, seeing the whole picture, idealistic, and maybe, it could also be, just being willing to, do things, sacrifice, one's time, and energy for others, being empathetic. And also, too, at some point in time, you may have to address and confront issues, which is the North Node, that are associated with the physical body, which is the Ascendant. Now, almost everybody, has to do that at some point, regardless of aspects in their natal chart, but it may be more, emphasized with this aspect compared to most others. Maybe it's one of a more serious nature compared to other people on average. If you have your ascendant in Virgo as an example, those issues one may have to address and confront connected with the physical body, maybe something connected with the spleen or the pancreas, or it could be some, intestinal issue. If the ascendant is in Libra, as another example, there may be issues with the lower back, or the kidneys, or the endocrine system, as another example. And also, too, your outlook on life, may figure strongly in your future, which is the North Node. And I know that could be true regardless of aspects and planetary placements in the natal chart, but it may be more emphasized with this aspect compared to most others. And, let's say the ascendant is in Sagittarius, the person may have a very optimistic and positive outlook on life. Somebody that expresses a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm and trying to see the positive aspect in things. Now, also, too, people prominent in your future, which is the North Node, may play an integral role in terms of your environment, which is the ascendant. Now, If the ascendant is in Taurus, that environment may be one that's very stable, peaceful, tranquil. If the ascendant is in Gemini, is another example. There may be a lot of restlessness in one's environment, or one where there's a lot of communication and variety and activity, as another example. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying, stay well.